Chapter 11.1, Exploring Integers. So we have three vocabulary words today: opposites, integers, and absolute value. So I'm going to start with opposites. Opposites are two numbers. Two numbers equally distant from zero or to zero. For example, if I take a number line, it's not a very straight one, but that's okay. So here's 0, 1 and 2, -1, -2, -3, 1, 1, and -1 are opposites. They are both 1 unit away from 0. -2 and 2 are opposites because they are both 2 units away from 0. So the positive number and its negative number are considered opposites. Next we have integers. Integers is the set of whole numbers and opposites, and that includes zeros. So what do I mean by that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all of your counting numbers, all those numbers you learned to count back when you were a teeny tiny little 1 and 2-year-old. You were learning to count 1, 2, 3. Those are your integers, and they're opposites: -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, integers have no decimals or fractions. Okay, decimals and fractions are not integers. Okay, and finally we have absolute value. Absolute value is related to opposites. Absolute value is the distance from 0. Distance from 0. Absolute value is never negative. It is always positive. I can't have a negative distance. I can't go -5 feet. I can walk backwards 5 feet. I can walk forwards 5 feet, but the amount of space I'm covering, the distance I'm covering, is always positive. Now we show absolute value by using two vertical straight lines with a number in between. So the absolute value, this symbol right here, means absolute value of 2 equals 2. Also, the absolute value of -2 equals 2, because -2 is 2 units. 1, 2 is 2 units away from 0. So we'll come back to absolute value in a little bit, but let's get into example 1. Dry ice is solid carbon dioxide, which freezes at about 109 degrees below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Which integer represents the freezing point of dry ice? So anything that's considered below 0 is going to be a negative number. So my two positives, those are out. And I want -109 degrees, so A is my only option. B is -19, not 109. All right, so example 2. What is the opposite of 3? So 3 is 3 units to the right of 0. It's a positive number. Now, you don't need to write positive numbers with the addition sign in front of it or the positive sign in front of it. You can just write it as 3. As long as there's no negative sign, we assume that the number is positive. So, if 3 is 3 units away from 0. I want the number that is also 3 units away from 0, just in the other direction. So -3 and 3 are opposites. Opposites. There you go. Okay. So the two numbers that are the same distance away from 0, just on opposite sides. Example 2, absolute value. So let's come back to some absolute value. Again, this symbol right here, okay, these railroad tracks, okay, those are the absolute value symbol. So the absolute value of -4 is how far away is -4 from 0, and it is always from 0. Well, I can see on this number line the -4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away. So the absolute value of -4 equals 4. This is your answer. The absolute value of 2 is 1, 2 units away from 0. So the absolute value of 2 is 2. Okay, remember, absolute value is always positive. Okay, now the number inside the absolute value symbol can be negative, that's fine, but its absolute value is always a positive number. It's always a distance away from 0. Okay, that's it for examples today. If you have any questions, after you complete your quick checks and see what I used, I will go ahead and answer those the next time I see you.